Welcome to indoor speedway at the London Docklands Arena. Action on a 150-metre concrete circuit. For the riders, it may be difficult to adapt. My co-commentator Chris Morton knows all about riding in any conditions.
We're all very impressed with it. I mean, we've not seen one of these sort of meets for about 8 years. And I must admit, this is the most impressive that I've seen. It's a good-sized track. Most of the lads have, after one or two having a shaky start, have adjusted to it fairly well, because it does require some different techniques than conventional speedway, as we will notice. You've got to really concentrate very hard, but you've got to contain your enthusiasm to race, and it's very tricky. You think you're in with a chance, get over enthusiastic, and you probably fall off.
England captain Kelvin Tatum believes he could adapt and may be among the more successful riders.
Well, I've now done practice and I feel reasonably confident. Obviously, not doing these very regularly, it's a little bit of a open field, because some people sort of click into it better than others. But as long as I have a bit of luck, I should think I'll be in the shout.
We've 16 riders plus 2 reserves from 5 countries. Each meets the others once over 20 heats, 5 rides apiece. First, Joe Screen from Bellevue. Dean Barker, the youngster from Oxford. The Czechoslovak, Bahumul Brahel. Andy Campbell. That's Jeremy Doncaster, England International, 3rd in the World Final back in '89. Alistair Stevens, the Oxford youngster. Another from Oxford, Martin Dugard. Neville Tatum, who rides for Wimbledon. That's the Italian, Amando Castagna. The second Czech, Zdenek Tazar. That's Kelvin Tatum himself, the England captain, favourite for this event. Alan Rossiter, the 25-year-old pool captain. Unlucky for some, 13, the Frenchman, Philippe Berger. Marvin Cox from Bradford. Number 15, the veteran, Steve Lawson from Glasgow. 16 is Kenny McKenna. And 2 reserves, Roland Pollard and Ben Howe, both youngsters. The opening heat brings together an interesting mixture of youth and experience, and an indoor expert in Andy Campbell, the oldest rider of the quartet. On the inside of the red helmet colours, the 18-year-old Joe Screen from Bellevue. 21 years of age is Dean Barker in the blue helmet colours. He'll be in gate number 2. Bahumul Brahel from Czechoslovakia in the white helmet colours is quite a wild rider. And on the outside will be Andy Campbell. He'll be in action in yellow and black. Andy Campbell, a man who's a real expert indoors. In a team event, he got a maximum 12 points, 4 rides, 4 heat wins. So from inside to out at the gate, it's Joe Screen, Dean Barker, Bahumul Brahel and Andy Campbell. That's the lineup as this Internationale gets underway at the London Docklands Arena. Up go the tapes, and Dean Barker battles on the inside with Joe Screen. Screen in front, Barker goes down and brings down Brahel with him, and surely the heat there will be stopped. No, the referee is letting it go. Out go the red flags to stop the heat, and we await news of the exclusion. Dean Barker, the rider in blue, is the rider that is excluded as the prime cause of the stoppage by the referee. That is Graham Brodie, the World Final referee. So the restart, the rerun without the rider Dean Barker, who was excluded, means on the inside Joe Screen, Bahumul Brahel in white, and on the outside Andy Campbell in yellow and black. Up go the tapes, Campbell dives for the inside, Screen holds the line. Screen in front as they come out of the bend, pursued by Campbell, and at the back it's Brahel, the Czechoslovakian. Joe Screen looking good, Brahel comes off on the top bend to leave Campbell chasing Screen. This will finish with just 2 riders if they hold their feet, because Brahel is way out of the action and into the straw bales. 2 laps gone, Joe Screen holds it in front of Andy Campbell. the 18-year-old, the youngest ever England capped in 1990, Joe Screen in the lead with 1 lap to go, ahead of Andy Campbell, the indoor expert. Screen is holding it tight on his front wheel, in and out of the bends. Campbell going in low, Screen taking a spin, and Campbell comes through on the inside to take the checkers flag. Screen slightly overcooked it there, but really the action of Campbell in keeping things safe and sure shows, as he waves his fist to the crowd, how he was well pleased to do that. And I'm sure that Chris Morton will be very interested to review exactly what happened there, because until the very final bend, his rider from Bellevue, his team colleague, his former team colleague Joe Screen, looked absolutely safe and sure to take that. And I'm sure Chris, in seeing this, will wonder what really happened.
Yeah, I thought what a superb start from Joe Screen, but there's 4 laps in every Speedway race, and he got a little bit under pressure from Andy Campbell, made a bit of a mess of it right on the last corner, and that's what Speedway's about. Andy Campbell was there ready for the moment, and it came, and he took the first place.
Heat number 2 coming up now. Ready at the tapes is Martin Dugard, the Oxford rider, of course. 21 years old, comes from Sussex, won the British Under-21 title back in 1989. He's wearing the blue helmet colours, he's already there. Coming up on the inside of him in the red helmet colours, the very experienced Jeremy Doncaster. He finished 3rd in the World Championship in Munich in 1989. In gate 3, it's Alistair Stevens from Oxford, just 21, started his career way back as a youngster in 1985. And on the outside, Neville Tatum from Wimbledon, 25 years old, the younger brother of the England captain. The starting marshal goes away. We wait for the tapes to go up. Up they do. Dugard battles on the inside and goes wide to allow Jeremy Doncaster to come through. Doncaster pursued there by Neville Tatum. Tatum showing the expertise he's already gained on this track. Pursuing there Jeremy Doncaster. Doncaster almost goes for a spin but holds it well, pursued by Tatum, with Alistair Stevens coming up in pursuit. Dugard's back in contention. Stevens runs out completely. Up front it's Jeremy Doncaster, ahead of Neville Tatum, with Martin Dugard in 3rd place with 1 lap to go. And Doncaster is certainly riding with care here and going for safety, and surely going to take the checkered flag. Jeremy Doncaster comes round, he takes the flag now. In 2nd place, it's Neville Tatum, and Martin Dugard brings up the rear. Certainly a pretty sure and safe piece of riding by Jeremy Doncaster, Chris Morton.
Jeremy Doncaster, a very good starter there, and as he proved on the indoor, he can still do it there as well. He made a clear start and rode a very careful race, and Neville Tatum, having had a bit of experience on here, was in with a chance, but Kelvin, he never did anything wrong, Jeremy.
There they are at the tapes then. On the inside in the red helmet colours, that's Zdenek Tezar. In blue, it's Kelvin Tatum. In white, Amanda Castagna. On the outside, it's Alan Rossiter. Up go the tapes and away they go. Rossiter battles on the inside. It's Castagna gets there first, pursued by Kelvin Tatum now. In 3rd place, it's Rossiter, and bringing up the rear is Zdenek Tezar. But on the inside now and coming through, Kelvin Tatum. He leads from Castagna. Tatum has obviously been talking about this with his brother, because he's gained the same expertise on this track and riding safely up front. Tatum out front ahead of Castagna. In 3rd place, it's Rossiter. Way back is Tezar with 1 lap to go. Kelvin Tatum, the man in front. Pursuing him, Amanda Castagna in white. Alan Rossiter surely assured of 3rd place as he battles to try and get 2nd. But Tatum takes the checkered flag. In 2nd place, Amanda Castagna. And 3rd is Alan Rossiter. Another piece of interesting riding from the England captain, Chris Morton.
Yeah, of course, a very good start there for Amanda Castagna, but Kelvin Tatum was waiting for the mistake. The mistake came, and then he went through, never made a wheel wrong.
Steve Lawson, Marvin Cox, Kenny McKenna, Philippe Berger from left to right across your screen. Away they go into the first bend. There's a battle there. It's Marvin Cox. He takes Kenny McKenna wide. McKenna's left standing there as Marvin Cox holds the lead at the end of lap 1. In 2nd place, that's Steve Lawson. In 3rd place, coming back well, is Kenny McKenna, and the young Frenchman is tailed off at the back. Marvin Cox, though, almost wheel perfect as he hits the inside white line and holds it as he goes round. In 2nd place, it's still Steve Lawson, but trying to come through is Kenny McKenna. McKenna dives in under there, which sends Steve Lawson packing into the straw bales. At the moment, though, the race is stopped. That the referee will not allow. Across your screen, Steve Lawson then in the red helmet colours, he's in gate 1. In the blue in gate 2, that's Marvin Cox. A gap, of course, for the absent Kenny McKenna excluded. Philippe Berger on the outside in yellow and black. Up go the tapes, a battle into the first bend. Marvin Cox takes it and holds his line. The Frenchman, Berger, comes around the outside to take Steve Lawson. But Berger goes wide, and that leaves Marvin Cox going through on the front. And then coming through on the inside to take second place, Steve Lawson, as the gap was left by the Frenchman. Cox, though, moving a tight line, holding his front wheel in position and not putting on too much power and holding the line. Marvin Cox out front looks to have this one sewn up. Steve Lawson trails him, but a fair few bike lengths behind. And the Frenchman at the moment is struggling on a surface certainly to which he's not accustomed. The checkered flag is out. It's Marvin Cox that takes it for his 3 points. In second place, Steve Lawson with 2. And Philippe Berger gets his first point in England. Chris, another good ride by an Englishman there to take the checkered flag.
Yeah, very good ride from Marvin Cox, a good start. But I was fairly impressed with our new Frenchman, because he jumped out the start. He's not had a lot of practice on these surfaces. I think maybe we're going to see some better races from our Philippe Berger.
Well, at the moment then, 4 riders have each had a heat victory. Andy Campbell, Jeremy Doncaster, Kelvin Tatum and Marvin Cox. Certainly all Englishmen, and I'm sure that we're perfectly happy to see that as they race for honours for this £1,000 top prize here at the London Docklands Arena. Philippe Berger coming out to take his place on the inside gate, which means that we have Berger in gate number 1. In gate number 2, it's Joe Screen. Gate number 3 is Jeremy Doncaster. And the Italian Amanda Castagna's. On the outside, we're in the yellow and black helmet colours. Really competitive race in prospect here, and from the outside very quickly Castagna takes the lead. Can he hold it? Coming through on the inside is Jeremy Doncaster. He holds a tight line. Going wide is the Frenchman, and tailed off at the back is Joe Screen. But something of a surprise here with the Italian Amanda Castagna establishing quite a lead. There's a lot of work here for Jeremy Doncaster. 2 laps on, the Frenchman is third. Berger tailed off at the back. Joe Screen, that's a surprise. Amanda Castagna takes the yellow flag, which means 1 lap to go. The Italian into the top bend, looking stylish this time. Pursuing him with some difficulty, Jeremy Doncaster. Third, Joe Screen, and fourth, Philippe Berger. But the heat winner, that's Amanda Castagna. He takes the checkered flag, and that certainly is an impressive ride from the 27-year-old from Italy. This heat number 6. Riders come up to tapes. Cox is going to take the inside. Already at tapes in the blue helmet colours is Tazar. Next to him is Dean Barker. On the outside in yellow and black, Alistair Stevens. Another competitive heat in prospect here as we wait for the starting marshal to get them in line, move away and let them make a beeline for the first bend. Up go the tapes, and away on the inside of the red helmet colours is Marvin Cox, holding that line tightly. All sorts of swaying about behind him, but Dean Barker comes through to take second place before taking a real perler on the top end and finishing up clear of the track. But out front it's Marvin Cox, now pursued by Tazar. In third place it's Alistair Stevens. Marvin Cox it is, all the way for his second successive heat victory if he can hold this tight. And he is, with his front wheel on the line into the bend and on the line coming out of it. 3 laps gone, it's Marvin Cox out front. Quite a battle for second place as Stevens comes through to head Zdeněk Tazar. But the heat winner here is undoubtedly going to be Marvin Cox, the second successive race that he has won. In second place, it's Alistair Stevens. And just coming round to take the checkered flag very slowly, it's Tazar.
Here's a rider who's done very well so far. Superb start tonight, Marvin. That's 2 starts, 2 wins. Can't get better than that.
And it's working, yeah. It's nice to start off the season, 1991 so far. Just hopefully I can just keep it up tonight.
You're obviously applying the right technique out there.
I don't know about the right technique. I seem to be going round and getting round good, and seem to be making good starts, and everything's going good for me. I done the first practice when we first come here, and the bike felt good and it weren't quite what I thought it should have been, and I changed it for the second, but it was spinning too much and it wasn't getting anywhere. It was just making an easy ride, but I've put everything back to where I was when I first come here, and it seems to be working at the moment good.
And compared with conventional shell tracks, which can obviously change from race to race, this is pretty consistent, isn't it?
Very consistent. Obviously the TVs won't be seeing what the practice was like, but in practice it was very easy to turn the corners, and when you get more rubber onto the track tends to get more grippier. So as the night gets on, you get more and more grips. You have to change the bike a little bit to try and make the rear wheel spin to get an easier ride. So as the night goes on, the arms will be getting stronger and the bikes will have to have a bit more wheel spin.
Okay, Marvin, well done. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Keep going. Thank you.
So, with 2 riders excluded from heat number 7, Martin Dugard and Bahama Brahel, it's a match race for what's now actually a second rerun. And here we go with Kelvin Tatum and Steve Lawson. Up go the Tapes, into the bend again is Kelvin Tatum first, with his front wheel hugging the bend tight, pursued by Steve Lawson. Lawson trying to go around the outside and surely taking it far too wide, as Tatum now has the entire length of the straight to lead this and surely take him to a maximum. Already Marvin Cox has 2 wins from 2 rides, and Kelvin Tatum is going to catch him here. Tatum in front. 1.5 laps to go, and Kelvin Tatum looking wheel perfect here, foot perfect, inch perfect all round. Tatum into the top bend, 3/4 of a lap to go. Lawson is looking good, but much slower. Tatum takes the checkered flag now. That's 3 more points for the England captain. Who's going to make it first? Into the first bend. The rider in red, Andy Campbell, he holds it. Quite a battle behind. Coming through quickly is Kenny McKenna, doing well to keep control. Marvellous first bend there. 4 riders here who know what they're doing, but out front it's Andy Campbell, pursued by Kenny McKenna. Alan Rossiter is in 3rd place, and at the back it's Neville Tatum. But all here seem to know what they're doing on the indoor circuit. Coming through there, a magnificent piece of passing by Andy Campbell, and that left him in front there as Kenny McKenna goes through. McKenna showing just what can be done. Rossiter's come through too, leaving Campbell stranded back in 3rd place. And it looks here as if the checkered flag is going to be taken by Kenny McKenna ahead of Alan Rossiter. In 3rd place there is Andy Campbell. Plenty of action there. Chris Morton, you saw it.
Yeah, Kenny McKenna proving what determination can do here. As we can see, he has got Andy Campbell under pressure there, and Andy thinking there's not going to be room here for me. Knocks the throttle off and allows Kenny to come through nice and neatly there. It really was a good race from Kenny. He was fighting all the way through, had to make some good moves on the first corner and got himself in a good position to fight Andy Campbell.
And Rossiter coming through as well as Campbell went wide.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Andy had shut off probably a little bit early there and got himself in trouble in the middle of the corner, which gave Alan Rossiter the chance. That really was a good race.
But your second outing was a bit special, and I think a lot of people thrilled to that. Really shows that you can overtake on this circuit. Some very forceful riding.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the surface. As I say, it is tricky, and it's just a case of trying to master it. Man against surface just about at the moment. But I mean, the guys that are riding here tonight, most of them I've ridden with before. Andy especially, I've ridden with an awful lot, and I've got a tremendous amount of respect for him in the indoors, and I like him very much as a person. So obviously there's an extra bit of edge, possibly, when Andy's about. And, you know, I was very pleased to beat him. Obviously he was disappointed, but, you know, we had a good race and we entertained, hopefully. So that's what it's all about.
All 16 riders now have had 2 outings. Kelvin Tatum and Marvin Cox, each with 6 points, 2 wins from 2 rides. Jeremy Doncaster and Amanda Castagna, they have 5, a heat win apiece for them. Andy Campbell and Steve Lawson, 4 each. Alan Rossiter and Joe Screen have 3 points. Heat number 9. Alistair Stevens is the rider in red. Alistair fell in his first outing and then gained a 2nd place, 2nd time out. The white helmet colours, we've got Joe Screen, the 18-year-old from Bellevue. Joe, 3 points so far, a 2nd place and a 3rd place. The yellow helmet colours, maximum man Kelvin Tatum, the 26-year-old England captain, at the moment looking a fair bet to take the first prize here at the London Docklands Arena. The last man to emerge from the pits, Kenny McKenna. 2 rides on the trot for Kenny McKenna. He won his last heat, of course, the very last race. He was excluded first time out. Here we go then, heat number 9. Tatum has to make it from the outside and does, right into the first bend. A marvellous ride by the England captain. In second place it's Alistair Stevens, but Kelvin Tatum is certainly looking good. Coming through on the inside is Kenny McKenna, cutting it fine. But Kelvin Tatum almost wheel perfect up front. Coming through from the back, that is Joe Screen to take third place, but all sorts of problems for him. Out front is Kelvin Tatum. He has it all his own way, pursued by Alistair Stevens and Joe Screen. Coming out of the race at the moment, Kenny McKenna, and going wide. But with 1 lap to go, it's Kelvin Tatum. Tatum all the way here to make it 9 points from 3 rides. Second place is going to go to Joe Screen, and third will be Alistair Stevens.
So here's Kelvin Tatum, 3 starts, 3 wins. A quite exceptional start for you to tonight's event.
That's right, yeah. I had the 2 inside starts in my first 2 rides. And I was a bit concerned about that last ride. I had a great call, but I managed to make a really good start. Got out in front and held on to it.
So the bike's okay, you're happy with the circuit, you've obviously adapted well to the conditions and everything?
Yeah, I've seemed to have clicked into gear, which is nice. Obviously, you need a little bit of luck, but hopefully in my last 2 rides, if I can make the start, should have a good chance.
Heat number 11, first out number 8, Neville Tatum, the 25-year-old from Wimbledon, younger brother of Kelvin, the England captain. Kelvin already with a maximum so far, 3 wins from 3 rides. Neville not so lucky, just 2 points so far from his 2 outings. The blue helmet colours, that's the Italian Amanda Castagna. Really like lightning in his last ride, and he has 5 points from his 2 rides so far. A heat win would certainly keep him in contention. The white helmet colours, Bahamo Brahel, yet to score in this meeting. The Czech certainly not adapting to the surface thus far. Marvin Cox is the rider in yellow and black. He's been pretty impressive so far. 2 wins from 2 rides. A win here for him would make him level with Kelvin Tatum, vying for the honours.
Some action here. Let's do some action here.
An interesting lineup to say the least here. Neville Tatum, Amanda Castagna, Bahamo Brahel and Marvin Cox. Cox has to go from the outside to get to that bend first. That to put him in the lead and give him a chance of taking the checkered flag. If he fails to do that, there could be all sorts of problems inside him. First to the bend, though, is Amanda Castagna. He did that last time out. He's held it, and now Marvin Cox has it all to do. In second place, it's Neville Tatum on the inside. Marvin Cox is coming round the outside this time in yellow and black. Some real racing we have on our plate in this one. But out front, it's Amanda Castagna from Italy. 2 laps gone. Castagna leads ahead of Neville Tatum and Marvin Cox. At the back, it's Bahamo Brahel. He doesn't seem to be in the same class in this indoor event. With 1 lap to go, Castagna holds it ahead of Neville Tatum and Marvin Cox. Cox is going to have to battle to pick up points here. But Amanda Castagna brings himself right into contention for honours, lifts his front wheel as he goes across the line. In second place, it's Neville Tatum, and third is Marvin Cox. The Italian Chris Morton there producing the goods. Once again, Bahamo Brahel picking his bike up from the straw bales. So we move up to heat 12, the last heat before the interval here at the London Docklands Arena, and this will complete 3 rides for everyone. At the moment, the only man with a maximum, that's England captain Kelvin Tatum. But here in the blue helmet colours, an indoor expert, Andy Campbell. In the yellow and black helmet colours, that's Martin Dugard. He's had a poor meeting so far, and Dugard was fancied to do well. The red helmet colours, that's the untried Frenchman Philippe Berger. Just 19 years old is Philippe, and he's scored just 1 point so far, a third place in his first outing. The white helmet colours, Zdenek Tezar. Tezar struggling somewhat. He scored just a single point from 2 outings so far. From inside to out at the tapes then, Philippe Berger from France, Andy Campbell, the 31-year-old from Berwick, Zdenek Tezar in gate 3 from Czechoslovakia, Martin Dugard from Oxford on the outside, and it's Dugard goes for the bend first, but on the inside is Andy Campbell. He takes Dugard wide, which allows second place to go to Philippe Berger, but he too is taken wide and leaves it clear for Campbell out front. Campbell is now pursued by Zdenek Tezar. Dugard's in third place and Berger, the Frenchman, at the back. With 2 laps gone, it's Campbell having it very much his own way. Tezar, Dugard and Berger in that order. But Campbell is 3/4 of a lap ahead of the last man as he goes into his final lap. Andy Campbell, the 31-year-old from Berwick, is going to take the checkered flag here and bring himself back into contention for honours. Campbell takes the checkered flag now. Zdenek Tezar gets 2 points for second place and Martin Dugard in third place.
From the start, we can see Martin Dugard makes a good jump, has to get the wheel spinning when he gets to the corner, but can't do it. Andy Campbell sneaks around the inside, and Martin still can't get the bike sliding, which is one of the problems that we have with this sort of surface. A lot of rubber down on the track, and from the start you can make it grip, but once you get to the corner, making it slide is not easy.
With 3 rides gone for each of them now, Kelvin Tatum leads with a maximum 9 points. 3 rides and 3 wins for him. Jeremy Doncaster and Amanda Castagna, the Italian, each have 8 two-heat victories in that and a second place for each of those men. Marvin Cox and Andy Campbell with 7 have also had 2 heat victories and a third place. Steve Lawson and Joe Screen are still in contention, but neither has yet won a heat. In heat 13, Cox and Screen lost ground, but the leader, Kelvin Tatum, was in action in the next. Heat 14 then at the tapes. On the inside, Barker. Next to him, Berger, Neville Tatum and Kelvin Tatum. And Kelvin is surely looking for the bend and makes it from the outside. If he holds it round here, that'll be 4 wins from 4 rides to put him in contention for that £1,000 first prize. In second place, Dean Barker, but only for a while because Barker has an almighty spin. Somehow he holds it and somehow he holds second place. But out front, it's Kelvin Tatum well in front. Barker's second. Neville Tatum is in third place, and Barker now goes an almighty perler on the top bend. With 1 lap to go, Kelvin Tatum takes the yellow flag, but out go the red flags, and that will probably mean he has to race again because the red light goes on, and that shows that Dean Barker is the man who's excluded as the prime cause of the stoppage. The rerun then of heat 14, just 3 riders, Philippe Berger, Neville Tatum and Kelvin Tatum, and surely Kelvin Tatum once again will dive from the outside to try and get first into that vital first bend. There he goes, he does just that as Kelvin Tatum, certainly at the moment looking the class rider in this field. Kelvin Tatum in second place, Philippe Berger at the moment, but coming through on the inside, brother Neville Tatum. Kelvin Tatum here, Chris Morton, looking a class of his own out front in the yellow and black helmet colours.
Yeah, he's got the technique well and truly sorted out. The riders behind having 1 or 2 problems, but nothing for Kelvin. He's showing the lads really how to do it around here.
Kelvin Tatum goes into the final lap. This is certainly processional. Neville Tatum, his brother, is going to take second place, and providing he holds it, Philippe Berger will get third place. But there's Kelvin Tatum taking the checkered flag very, very easily. Neville Tatum in second place and Philippe Berger is third. Kelvin Tatum now with a maximum 12 points from 4 rides. Chris Morton, who's going to stop him taking the title?
Well, we've got a few more races coming up, and I think Armando Castagna, he just might stir things up a bit.
Heat number 16, this should be interesting. The Italian Amanda Castagna has improved as the meeting's gone on. He's won his last 2 races. He had a second place to start, and he could well put the cat among the pigeons here. Already we have Kelvin Tatum, who's got a maximum to date so far, and He, in fact, is the only man who's actually beaten Castagna so far. Amanda Castagna. In white, that is Andy Campbell. He's quite a handful on this track. Quite an expert he's developed. He's shown some talent in this indoor meeting. Blue helmet colours, young Alistair Stevens from Oxford. Hardly one of the front runners here at the moment. Just 2 points to date from his rides. Last man out, yellow and black, Steve Lawson. Steve Lawson, who rides for Glasgow. And so far, for him, he's done quite well with a 6-point return from his rides so far. At the tapes on the inside, the lively Italian Amanda Castagna, Alistair Stevens from Oxford and England next to him, Andy Campbell, the Berwick rider, he's in gate 3, and Steve Lawson from Glasgow's on the outside. Into the first bend, it is Amanda Castagna, challenged on the outside by Andy Campbell. Quite a battle as Campbell goes round, Castagna goes wide, and he's out of this, he's got to pick it up again. The action's in second place at the moment because there's the battle, and somehow Castagna has been dropped to third, while out front in the white helmet colours, Andy Campbell is carrying all before him. Real disappointment for the Italian, who goes wide at the back again. But with just over a lap to go, Andy Campbell's out front ahead of Alistair Stevens and Steve Lawson. Castagna is going to have to go some to salvage a point here. At the back, he's trying as he goes through on the inside of Lawson. A magnificent move at the back of the field. The heat winner, though, is Andy Campbell. In second place, Alistair Stevens. But a challenging ride from the back by Amanda Castagna. He missed out early on. He came back to salvage a point, but it could have been oh so much better, Chris Morton.
Yeah, Andy Campbell proving the point that if you stay cool, you'll get the results. Amanda was a little bit aggressive, which is the way he rides, and unfortunately, it doesn't suit him on every occasion on this surface.
Berries. You are listening to it.
There's one race each to go now, and Kelvin Tatum's in the lead on 12 points. Andy Campbell and Jeremy Doncaster each with 10. The Italian Amanda Castagna has 9, Marvin Cox 8. Alan Rossiter and Joe Screen have 7 each. Steve Lawson is the man on 6. Heat 18, the man in white, that's Martin Dugard. Desperately disappointing so far, just 2 points from his 4 outings. In red, it's Amanda Castagna. Somewhat inconsistent, the Italian. He's certainly looking good at times. 9 points he's amassed from his 4 rides so far. In blue, a reserve is Roland Pollard. He's come in for the out of luck and out of fortune, Dean Barker. The 21-year-old from Oxford. Barker has fallen in all 4 rides, so the young reserve gets a chance in this heat. In yellow and black, it's Kenny McKenna, the 28-year-old from Glasgow. Kenny has 5 points from his 4 rides so far. He might have expected better with his indoor expertise. So, heat number 18. Who's going to make it first to the bend? Very quickly there, Amanda Castagna, but round the outside comes Martin Dugard. And this time, Dugard, can he hold it? He's failed in most of his rides to hold it tight on the bend. This is really competitive. Castagna out front, the young reserve. Pollard at the back goes crashing into the straw bales, but the race continues. Amanda Castagna's in the lead, but an almighty pile up on the bend there. Dugard and Kenny McKenna take a tumble. The race inevitably is stopped, and there, lying on the track, is Martin Dugard. Very quickly overcomes Kenny McKenna. Dugard here could be quite seriously hurt. Chris Morton.
Yeah, we saw Kenny McKenna there, probably coming under a little bit hard under Martin Dugard. Hopefully Martin's okay. Kenny is concerned as anyone, but he's perhaps a little bit overzealous there, but this is what racing's all about. As we see on the replay here, I mean, Kenny's coming in quite fast. He's trying to turn the bike, but on the surface, as he goes down, it just slides, and he slides straight into Martin Dugard.
The referee has excluded Kenny McKenna, but it seems to be Dugard is extremely unlikely to take part in the rerun. He had been suffering from an injured right knee, and he was certainly flexing it when he went down there. So maybe we'll have a second reserve in the rerun of this heat. Martin Dugard then on his feet. It remains to be seen whether he can take part in the rerun.
Rerun is only for rerun of heat 18.
Martin Dugard, of course, riding with an injured right knee now. Chris Morton, how tempting is it to ride when you shouldn't be?
Yeah, it can be very tempting, but Martin, we saw, was in quite a bit of pain as he walked off the track. But in this situation, obviously, there's only the two of them in the race, so, and being his last ride, it's obviously worth him going out.
So Martin Dugard just 2 points so far, and providing he finishes here, he could double his points total. Dugard in gate 3 in white helmet colours. Amanda Castagna, who could still get second place here. He's on the inside. Second place overall in the event is open for the offing if Castagna can win this one. And at the moment, it looks as if he's going to do exactly that as the Italian completes lap 1 in front of Oxford's Martin Dugard. Amanda Castagna from Italy, he's out front. Martin Dugard from England coming through on the inside. Dugard trying to take him on that bend and almost doing so. A lovely bit of riding by the England International there. Courage, of course, riding whilst injured, but certainly technique coming to the fore there. One of the best bits of riding we've seen tonight. You can do it, I suppose, with just 2 riders on the track. And Dugard is rewarded with the checkered flag at the end of heat 18 and 3 points ahead of Amanda Castagna. That was quite a piece of riding, Chris.
Yeah, Martin Dugard proving that he wasn't just there to ride, he was there to race, and made a good race of that. Amanda Castagna, not an easy man to pass, but and he didn't give in easily, but Martin Dugard made sure it was his. As we see him, Martin coming up the inside of Amanda Castagna. Amanda leaving a little bit of room there. Martin taking full advantage of the situation. And he's got himself in a perfect position here. Comes out of the corner, gets enough grip, and the race is going to be his.
Heat 19, the rider in blue, the cheerful pool captain, Alan Rossiter. Always with a smile on his face, always plenty to say, and certainly has ridden pretty well this evening. Alan Rossiter. The white helmet colours, we got the young Frenchman, Philippe Berger, who could be riding for Ipswich this season, just 19. He's only ridden 10 Speedway meetings in his life, but he's quite a sensation on the grass tracks of France around Bordeaux. In yellow and black, Alistair Stevens from Oxford. He's just amassed 4 points from 4 rides so far tonight. Not the most impressive of riders, but they all learn. For Hummel Brahel, he's struggled from start to finish. 1 point, he's fallen on 3 of his 4 rides so far tonight, and the Czech would do well in this company to get a place. At the tapes for heat 19, on the inside from Czechoslovakia, Hummel Brahel. In the blue helmet colours, gate 2, that's Alan Rossiter. Behind the starting marshal in white, Philippe Berger. And on the outside, Alistair Stevens. Away they go, and into the bend first in blue, that's Alan Rossiter. But coming through on the inside in red for Hummel Brahel to chase him, but Rossiter holds him off. Goes a shade wide here. There's a race on here with Rossiter out front. Brahel is chasing him. In third place, it's Alistair Stevens. The young Frenchman's at the back, having trouble adapting to the circuit. But there goes Alan Rossiter. He's out front. In second place, a bit of a battle, but Brahel seems to be holding it as they go into the final lap. The 25-year-old pool captain, Alan Rossiter, is the man that's carrying all before him. This will give him a 10-point return and put him among the top 6. Alan Rossiter takes the checkered flag and raises his hand to his supporters. In second place, it's Hummel Brahel. And third there is Alistair Stevens. An impressive ride by young Roscoe, Chris Morton.
Yeah, Alan Rossiter there, posing a little bit to the crowd, enjoying that race. Was not under any pressure and was riding in very relaxed form.
The final heat, heat number 20. Quality abounds here among the four riders. Jeremy Doncaster, Marvin Cox, Kelvin Tatum and Andy Campbell. In blue there, Marvin Cox. Marvin has 8 points from his 4 rides so far. In yellow and black, it's Andy Campbell. Andy Campbell has 10 and he could get a place on the rostrum. The 31-year-old from Berwick has certainly ridden well here this evening. In white, that is Kelvin Tatum, of course, and Kelvin has a maximum. He only needs a 2nd place to be assured of the title. He may even get it with a 3rd, but I think Kelvin will surely go for a win. Jeremy Doncaster, 10 points so far. He too has been impressive here so far this evening, and Jeremy has had 2 heat wins and 2 2nd places to make up those 10 points. So, Chris Morton, on the form shown by Kelvin Tatum here, is he going to finish with a maximum?
Well, it may look like a foregone conclusion, but we've got 3 good races for him to ride against here, so could be interesting.
Here we go then for heat number 20, the grand finale. Away to the first bend. The man that makes it there in the white helmet colours is Kelvin Tatum, but there's a real battle on the inside as Tatum holds them off. Marvin Cox comes through to give him a challenge, but Tatum surely here hasn't looked back all evening, and he's only got to hold it on that front wheel on the line on the bends as he completes 2 laps now in the lead. Kelvin Tatum is going to be the Internationale champion if he holds it now. In 2nd place is Marvin Cox. 3rd in yellow and black is Andy Campbell, and tailed off at the back, somewhat surprisingly, that is Jeremy Doncaster. But let's watch Kelvin Tatum show the style on this London Docklands circuit that has won him this title. The England captain is going to take the plaudits of the crowd. He takes the checkered flag now. He waves to the crowd, and Kelvin Tatum is the first ever indoor champion here at the London Docklands Arena. Chris Morton, thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, very good ride there from Kelvin Tatum. I mean, we saw the lads on the first turn were scrapping, but Kelvin made sure it was his. A first-class ride, under a bit of pressure, some strong riders in that last race, but he knew he had to make a good start to win it, and that's what he certainly did.
In 1990, Kelvin Tatum won both the British and Commonwealth titles. He started 1991 with a title here at the Docklands Arena. That's the Internationale title.
As we see from the start, he makes a very good start, but Jeremy Doncaster, quite a good starter, was challenging to the first corner, but Kelvin held his ground and just carried on. To see the riders behind him scrapping for the positions, but Kelvin holding the first place, making it clear, and goes on to win the meeting and take home the prize money.
So we have a ride-off for 2nd place. 2 riders have been pretty impressive tonight. In the red helmet colours, the amazing Italian Amanda Castagna, who shocked a few people here. 2 heat victories, 2 2nd places and a 3rd in his 11-point return. White helmet colours, that's Andy Campbell. He wasn't in the original meeting. He earned it by doing very well in the eliminating meeting in the afternoon session here at the London Docklands. But tonight he's had 3 first places and 2 third places to earn his 11-point return. Now they battle for the 2nd place on the rostrum behind England captain Kelvin Tatum. Here we are at the tapes then. There's money in this for these 2. Castagna in gate 2 on the outside. It's Andy Campbell. Campbell first to the bend. Castagna trying to hold it tight, coming through on the inside. There's a battle here. Castagna takes the challenge between his teeth and they both come down. A real pearler there. Who's to blame for that? Yes, unfortunately, Castagna is the man excluded by the referee. But let's have a look at this, Chris Morton.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing this, because Amando comes into the corner. He not really doing anything wrong, but just lost slight control here. I just see it looks quite safe at the moment, but Amando overcooks it, middle of the corner. Unfortunately, Andy Campbell catches his front wheel and tips him off as well. Unfortunately, the referee really couldn't do anything else but exclude Armando Castagna. It looked like we could have had a good strong race there.
What an anticlimax, though, for the ride-off. But Andy Campbell there, despite lying on the track, he's earned his 2nd place here this evening. Let's hope he's fit enough to get on the rostrum. It seems he's OK. He's been helped to his feet by Amanda Castagna. He'll be taking 3rd place. 3 riders here who've really thrilled the crowd in this London Docklands Arena. Kelvin Tatum has taken the title. Andy Campbell is runner-up, and from Italy, Amanda Castagna takes third place. The rostrum then belongs to those three. Tatum on 15, Andy Campbell and Amanda Castagna each with 11. But the others provided splendid entertainment. Alan Rossiter, Joe Screen and Marvin Cox, along with Jeremy Doncaster, all on 10 points. Neville Tatum with 8. Further down the board, Steve Lawson 7, Zdenek Tesar 6, Martin Dugard and Alistair Stevens each 5. Kenny McKenna on 4, the Czech Bahama Brahel on 3, Philip Berger 2, Dean Barker failed to score. Kelvin Tatum then looking justifiably proud for his efforts here at the London Docklands Arena. He's taken first place, Andy Campbell second, and Amanda Castagna from Italy quite proud to be third.
So Amanda Castagna, third place for you tonight. A smart trophy as well. Bit of an unfortunate finish though, pushing hard against Andy Campbell in the run-off for second place.
Yeah, I tried. I was on the inside line, so I was a favorite a little bit because on the inside line was better. And when I went out from the second bend, I saw him on the outside, and I tried not to push him, but just to keep my line. You see, but I went into the third bend too fast, and I couldn't keep the bike inside on the inside. And I just turned around, and Andy was just behind me. I'm feel sorry for him because he just have a better crash really.
Well, second place for you tonight, Andy Campbell, and really living up to your reputation as being one of Britain's experts at the small circuit.
Yeah, it was a good meeting for me. I dropped a couple of points early on, which was unfortunate, and Kelvin was faultless, 15 points. But I was really happy to get second. I'm pleased with that.
It's gone really well. I can't believe it. 5 wins out of 5. It's tremendous. I've really enjoyed myself.
You really didn't put a foot wrong from start to finish tonight.
No, in my first race, Amanda Castagna popped out in front of me, but I was able to pass him. And then after that, I made 4 really good starts. There was a pressure race in my last race, obviously with Jeremy and Andy Campbell in the same race. But no, it's worked out to be my day, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Brendan's tempted tonight at 5:15.
I gotta see because you cheated. I didn't deserve... Talk to Denzel.